Did you know that with just these three types of nuts, a man over 60 can still feel as young as he did at 40? I'm not saying this just to please your ears. I say it because I have witnessed hundreds of my patients, men who were once desperate due to fatigue, weakness, and lack of interest in intimacy. After just a few weeks, they came back to my clinic with eyes sparkling, with stronger steps, and with voices full of confidence, all thanks to one small change: adding exactly these three types of nuts to their daily diet. I understand that after turning 60, many men begin to accept fatigue, weakness, and declining performance as normal. They think it is a natural law. But do you really believe that just because you are aging, you have to live in exhaustion, lack of confidence, and dependence? I don't believe that, and I want you not to believe it either, because the truth is, a man's body can still recover, regenerate energy, and male hormones as long as you know how to nourish it properly. I am Dr. Authority, a geriatric nutrition doctor with over 20 years of accompanying American men over 60 to help them live healthily, independently, and as strong as possible. I don't sell empty promises. I only share what I have seen work for hundreds of my patients. Do you remember the last time you woke up with a body full of energy, your legs walking briskly, your breath easy, and your mind excited? Many men have told me that they feel as if their bodies can no longer recover. They wake up tired in the morning, and by evening, they are exhausted, not to mention being intimate with their wives. But just by adding exactly these three types of nuts to your daily meals, your body will be supplied with precious minerals that most American men lack. They help improve blood circulation, increase natural testosterone, nourish the heart and brain, and most importantly, restore the confidence, strength, and masculine vitality within you. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on supplements. You don't need to buy expensive advertised functional foods everywhere. What you need is to return to nature's pure gifts. But most importantly, not everyone knows how to eat the right types of nuts, the right amount, and at the right time. If eaten incorrectly, you may gain weight, increase bad cholesterol, and put pressure on your heart. But if eaten correctly, they will become a secret weapon to help you defeat aging and awaken the male hormones that have long been dormant. In today's video, I will reveal to you the three essential types of nuts that most American men over 60 do not eat enough of, causing them to feel fatigued, weak, prone to cardiovascular diseases, and gradually lose their performance. And more importantly, I will guide you on how to eat them properly, in the right amount, and at the right time so they can maximize their effects, helping you maintain health, performance, and confidence. Not just for yourself, but also for the woman you love and for the family who will always be proud of you. Because you deserve to live healthily, strongly, and freely until the very last day of your life. I still remember not long ago, there was a man around 68 years old who walked into my clinic. He was wearing a blue checkered shirt, his hands trembling as he held his medical records, and his eyes were filled with sadness. As he sat down in the chair, he sighed and said, "Doctor, I'm so tired. I no longer feel like a man. I have no interest in my wife, and my body always feels sluggish. I have no motivation to do anything." Hearing those words, I felt deeply pained, because in over 20 years of working in geriatric nutrition, counseling, and treating thousands of male patients over 60, I have heard this sentence repeated countless times. I am Dr. Authority, a geriatric nutrition doctor who has devoted most of my career to studying how to maintain the health, performance, and confidence of men after 60 without having to depend on medication or expensive supplements. I know exactly how a man's body changes as he enters his 50s, 60s, and 70s. I understand the feeling of helplessness when seeing your muscles gradually shrink, belly fat thickening, breath becoming shorter, and when the look in your wife's eyes turns from admiration to worry. Over the past 2 decades, I have worked with retired farmers in Texas, elderly teachers in New York, veterans in Florida, and even successful businessmen in California. Despite their different circumstances, they all shared the same fear: becoming a burden, no longer being the strong man their family could rely on. But what makes me most proud is that I have witnessed them change. They came to me in despair and left my clinic with confident eyes, rosy faces, and bodies full of vitality, thanks to very small practical changes in their daily nutrition and lifestyle. I am not someone who likes to sell empty hopes. I am a doctor. I need real results. I always believe that if a method cannot be applied and maintained long-term, it has no value. Therefore, in all my consultation programs, I always focus on solutions that are simple, practical, and based on solid scientific foundations. And one of the most powerful secrets I teach my patients is to add essential nuts, nature's most exquisite gifts. Because did you know a man's body does not naturally weaken just because of age? It weakens because it is not provided with enough nutrients it needs to maintain testosterone, nourish the heart, protect the nervous system, and strengthen the musculoskeletal system. And the three types of nuts I'm about to share with you today are the nutritional foundation that helps reactivate masculine energy, increase blood circulation to every cell, especially to those important areas that you always want to maintain strong. I hope that through this video you will understand your body better and realize that age is just a number. The true strength of a man lies in his knowledge, his choices, and the right actions he takes every day. I know that when it comes to nuts, many men will frown and think, nuts are just full of fat. Eating them will only give me belly fat, high cholesterol. What good are they? This is the biggest misconception I have heard over the past 20 years. I want to tell you straight today. The fats in nuts are not your enemy. On the contrary, they are a secret weapon that helps you maintain testosterone, keep your heart healthy, protect your brain, and even help you reduce belly fat if you know how to eat them properly. Imagine this. Testosterone, the male hormone, is produced from good cholesterol. If you cut out all healthy fats from your diet, your body will have no material to create male hormones. That's why many of my patients, after years of avoiding oil and fat, eating bland foods, avoiding nuts for fear of gaining weight, come to see me with tired bodies, dry and dull skin, hair loss, weak bones and joints, and worst of all, loss of libido. Only when they start to add back good fats from walnuts, almonds, and Brazil nuts, their bodies feel refueled, blood circulates better, their minds become clearer, and their testosterone increases significantly. I remember one patient, Mr. George, 72 years old, once told me, "Doctor, I stopped eating nuts for 15 years because I was afraid of cholesterol. I only ate salads, vegetables, and lean meats, but the more I did that, the weaker I got. I couldn't sleep, and my mental health declined." When I guided him to start eating these exact three types of nuts again, after just 2 weeks, he came back and said, "I feel like I'm 10 years younger. I wake up alert in the morning, I still have energy to walk with my wife in the evening, and I'm starting to feel my masculinity coming back." That's why I want you to stop thinking that eating nuts makes you gain weight and harms your heart. The truth is, large studies in the US have proven that men who eat 1 to 2 ounces of nuts daily have a 30 to 40% lower risk of heart disease, a 20 to 25% lower risk of diabetes, and maintain better testosterone levels compared to those who completely avoid nuts. Because nuts contain omega-3, arginine, vitamin E, selenium, and magnesium, all of which are foundational for men's health, especially after the age of 60. Today, I promise you one thing. If you are ready to take action, ready to change, just by eating exactly the three types of nuts that I'm about to share with you, in the right way, right amount, and at the right time, within 2 to 3 weeks, you will clearly feel the difference. Your body will have more energy, your memory will improve, your heart will be healthier, and most importantly, you will feel more confident when you look in the mirror each morning, when you walk side by side with your wife, and when you are close to her at night. This is not magic. This is science. It is the right to live healthily, strongly, and confidently that every man deserves to have, no matter his age. And I will accompany you on this journey, starting with understanding the 3 essential types of nuts that nature has given us, but unfortunately, so many have forgotten. Now I will share with you in detail about the 3 types of nuts that I call the Diamond Trio for men's health after 60. These are not just snacks, but truly natural medical nutrition sources proven through hundreds of clinical studies. The first type is walnuts. Many of my patients call them the king of nuts. Walnuts contain a large amount of omega-3 alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, which helps reduce vascular inflammation, increase blood circulation, support cardiovascular health, and is especially good for the brain. But few know that omega-3 also has a direct effect on testosterone. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that men who supplemented enough omega-3 had higher testosterone levels than those who were deficient, meaning they maintained desire, erections, and strong vitality. Walnuts also contain arginine, an amino acid that helps dilate blood vessels, increasing blood flow to important organs, including your sensitive area. If you often have cold hands and feet, numbness, or weak erections, walnuts are an essential food. The second type is almonds. Many people only think almonds are good for the skin, but for men, they are a rich source of magnesium and vitamin E. Magnesium supports over 300 enzyme reactions in the body to work optimally, especially in energy metabolism and testosterone production. Vitamin E in almonds is a strong antioxidant that protects blood vessel walls, prevents atherosclerosis, keeps the heart healthy, and importantly, slows down cellular aging. I advise my patients to eat about 20 to 25 almonds per day, best when dry roasted without salt, eaten as a morning or afternoon snack to maintain stable energy. Avoid blood sugar drops, reduce sweet cravings, and maintain alertness. The last type of nut, which many have never thought of, is Brazil nuts. Each Brazil nut contains an extremely high amount of selenium. Just 1 to 2 nuts meet the daily selenium requirement. Selenium is an essential mineral for the thyroid gland, testosterone production, and protecting the prostate from enlargement or cancer. Many studies show that American men who consume enough selenium daily have healthier testosterone levels and higher sperm quality, while reducing the risk of prostate inflammation. But remember, do not eat more than 2 to 3 Brazil nuts per day because the selenium content is so high that overconsumption can cause toxicity. The important thing I want to emphasize is that you must eat the right types, in the right amounts, and in the right way. I often guide my patients to eat 5 to 6 walnuts, 20 to 25 almonds, and 1 to 2 Brazil nuts per day, and drink enough water for the body to absorb them best. Combine these nuts with a diet rich in green vegetables, low-sugar fruits, lean protein, and light exercise such as walking for 30 minutes daily. Do not underestimate these small changes, because they are the foundation that creates major differences in your body, from cardiovascular and brain health, male hormones, to confidence, performance, and pride when you look in the mirror each morning. You deserve that, and I believe just after 2 to 3 weeks, you will feel a true revival from within. Although nuts bring countless benefits, I have also witnessed many of my patients making mistakes that seem small, but completely ruin the results. The first mistake is eating too many Brazil nuts. I once had a patient named Daniel, 65 years old, who after hearing me talk about the wonderful benefits of selenium in Brazil nuts, became so eager that he ate nearly the whole bag, about 10 to 15 nuts a day. After just a week, he started feeling nauseous, had diarrhea, hair loss, and when he went for a checkup, his blood selenium levels were far above the permissible limit. I want you to remember clearly, Brazil nuts should only be eaten up to a maximum of 2 to 3 nuts per day, because just that amount is enough to meet your selenium needs. Additionally, always eat them with protein or vegetables to slow down absorption and avoid stomach discomfort. The second mistake I see in many patients is eating salted or sugared nuts. I know on supermarket shelves, salted roasted nuts or caramelized nuts look very appealing and convenient, but the salt and refined sugar in them are the silent culprits causing inflammation in your blood vessels, increasing blood pressure, accumulating belly fat, causing atherosclerosis, and lowering testosterone. If you want to gain maximum benefits, choose dry roasted nuts without salt, sugar, margarine, or hydrogenated oils, because these industrial oils destroy testosterone and impair vascular endothelial function. The third mistake, which sounds simple but is very common, is eating nuts without drinking enough water. Nuts are rich in fats and soluble fiber, and if you don't drink enough water, your digestive system will have to work much harder, leading to constipation, bloating, and poor nutrient absorption. I always remind my patients that whenever they eat nuts, They should drink at least a glass of water or warm herbal tea along with them. This not only aids digestion but also supports detoxification and optimal mineral absorption. The final mistake that I see almost everyone make is thinking that just eating nuts is enough. I want to emphasize that these nuts are not a magic cure. They only maximize their effects when combined with a healthy lifestyle. Eating enough green vegetables, low-sugar fruits, exercising, getting enough sleep, and managing stress. I once witnessed a patient who ate all three types of nuts I recommended, but still stayed up late, drank alcohol every night, ate a lot of fried food, and hardly exercised. As a result, his body remained tired, his blood sugar was high, and his testosterone was low. But when he changed his lifestyle, after just 3 weeks, he came back to my clinic with a radiant smile. I feel like I've become a completely different person, doctor. You see, health does not come from a single food, but from how you live each day. Nuts are just a tool. The real key lies in your choices and actions. Avoid these mistakes so that the three essential nuts truly become the diamond trio that brings you energy, performance, and confidence every day. Whether you are 60, 70, or 80 years old. You know, I always believe that a man, no matter his age, deserves to live a life that is strong, free, and full of pride. I have seen so many of my patients walk into my clinic with tired eyes, their backs hunched from the burden of illness and age. But after just a few weeks, they return standing tall, walking briskly, with a confident smile on their faces. That is not magic. That is the result of the right choices, starting from the smallest changes. And today, I have given you one of the smallest yet most powerful changes, adding exactly these three types of nuts to your daily diet. Imagine tomorrow morning, when you wake up, you feel light, your mind is refreshed, your legs carry you quickly to the kitchen, where you prepare your breakfast with walnuts, almonds, and Brazil nuts. When you look in the mirror, you see a man smiling back at you. A man who is not defeated by age, not knocked down by fatigue, and still holds that strong flame in his eyes. And then when your wife comes over and places her hand on your shoulder, she will feel the new energy radiating from your body. The energy of a man full of vitality, confidence, ready to protect her for the rest of her life. I'm not promising this is the only secret to becoming the healthiest version of yourself, but I am sure that if you start today, if you eat these three types of nuts daily, combined with enough sleep, light exercise, and a positive spirit, you will see a clear change in just 2 to 3 weeks. From your energy, memory, flexibility, to your true masculine performance, all will be revived because your body has the foundation to recover and thrive no matter your age. And if you find this video helpful, please hit like so I know you are listening. Subscribe to the channel so we can continue to walk together on this journey of living healthily, strongly, and freely until the end of life. Don't forget to share this video with the important men in your life, your father, uncles, brothers, friends, so they too have the chance to live each day to the fullest like you. I am Dr. Authority. Thank you for taking the time to listen to these sharings. Thank you for not giving up, for believing that your body deserves to be cared for and loved. Be proud of yourself, because only truly strong men are willing to act and change. I believe you will become the strongest man in the best version of yourself, and I will always be here accompanying you on that journey.